Hey, Planeswalkers, Mithras here. Hope you're doing well and staying safe. Today, we got a sweet top deck for you coming from the Platinum to Mythic style, 6+ wins. Now, we will be talking about the main board. We'll talk about the sideboard. We'll pull those two together in a how-to board for best of 3, and then additionally go play some competitive Magic in both best of 1 and best of 3 today. So that's what we got on the Planeswalkers, so stay tuned for that. But before we go ahead and talk about this deck, I just want to say thank you as always. I appreciate your support. Please feel free to subscribe to the channel down over there. Additionally, like the video if you like it. You can like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter and Twitch, stay up to date on daily content like this. And additionally, Planeswalkers, other ways to support the channel down below in the description. You can hop in the Discord channel, hang out. You can also become a patron. And then also, if you'd like to, stay tuned and in touch with my Untapped profile down below. You guys can see how my Mythic journey is going. And then also I have the companion app down there for you to share as well. So Planeswalkers, let's go ahead and check out this deck. I am super pumped today because I've been looking for something like this. So we have a Boros Control deck. So I'm pretty excited about this one. Pretty unique, pretty interesting. And I think it's going to give us a fun run today. So I'm very, very happy and excited to be sharing this with you. Now, for those of you that are new, those of you that are returning, as always, this deck list is available for you down below in the description. So you do have access to it right away. Additionally, there's the deck link down there as well. Now, quickly, Boros is the guild from Ravnica that's comprised of both red and white, or mountains and plains, to give us the Boros guild there. And then additionally, it's a control deck because this deck heavily focuses on maintaining early board, mid-game board, and then has a late-game kind of play style to that. So that is the objective of the deck as well. And then it's control focused because it's about trying to make the right trades, one for one or one for many kind of a deal. So we'll go ahead and talk about the main deck here in a minute. But first off, as always, I like to kind of quickly cruise over everything here so that you can see the deck in its totality. And then as we talk through each of the pieces, get a better understanding of how they kind of fit in and why and those kinds of things. So first off, we got Spikefield Hazard. This is a nice modal land for us from Zendikar Rising. Here it's an instant. Deals 1 damage to any target, but the plus on this too is that if that target would be dealt damage this way and dies, then exile it instead. So very, very important there. Or it can come in tapped as well as a land. Then we got Glass Casket here. This targets creatures with casting cost 3 or less. It's an artifact, and they remain exiled with this until Glass Casket leaves. We have the Birth of Meletis. So this is a nice little saga still from Theros. So here we get 3 things. First, we can search our library for a Plains card and then shuffle it. Then we can create an 0/4 colorless wall artifact token with Defender. And then last but not least, on our third piece there, we can gain 2 life. Then we have Fire Prophecy. So this one I really like. I like it for a couple of reasons. One, we get the direct damage, but also we can shuffle it, essentially a card from our hand into our, or sorry, not shuffle it, but put a card from our hand into the bottom of our deck, and then we get to draw one. So what I'm saying is we get the ability of draw advantage here as well, and the ability to essentially smooth out our hand, which is very powerful. Then we have Shatterskull Smashing. So this is a really nice modal land again from Zendikar Rising. Here it can either deal X damage divided among up to 2 target creatures and or planeswalkers, and if X is 6 or more, then we double that damage. So a 6/6 2/6 damage dealing spikes essentially is pretty awesome here. And then we can either have it come in as a land as well, tapped or not. But if it's not, then we got to pay the 3 life, as I always like to say, some of those pain lands. So here, then we also have Banishing Light. When Banishing Light enters the battlefield, exile target non-land permanent an opponent controls until Banishing Light leaves the battlefield. So again, anything, this is really, really powerful. Then we have Skyclave Apparition, as I like to say, one of the most powerful cards from Zendikar Rising in the white here. Here, Skyclave enters, we can target a non-land permanent, so don't forget that. I've made the mistake of trying to hit Crawling Barrens a few times, so don't do what I did. Actually, probably just once. So like to share that nice little thought there. But anyway, you can target anything non-land 4 cost or less, and then exiles it, and it actually leaves. but when Skyclave leaves, then we end up giving them a XX blue illusion creature token, where X is the converted mana cost of that exiled card. Then we got everyone's favorite Bone Crusher. So this guy's got Stomp at instant speed. It deals 2 damage, but that damage also can't be prevented, so keep that in mind. And then when Bone Crusher, the giant, becomes the target of a spell, it deals 2 damage to that spell's controller, so also keep that in mind. We get a nice 4/3 body as well. Now here's another nice one from Zendikar Rising that we haven't played yet. The Valakut Exploration. So here, this is a landfall mechanic. So we talked heavily about landfall yesterday in the Selesnya color, so you guys can absolutely check out that deck. But here, what landfall does is it triggers when a land enters the battlefield. And in our case here with Valakut, when it enters, we can exile a top card from our library. We may play that card for as long as it remains exiled. At the beginning of our end step, if there are no cards exiled with Valakut Exploration, put them into the owner's graveyard, and then Valakut Exploration deals that much damage. If there are cards exiled, sorry. So if you didn't play it. So that's how that works. I spoke a little too fast there. Then we have Elspeth Sun's Nemesis. So a very powerful planeswalker here for 4. It's also got Escape for 6. But we do have to exile 4 other cards from our graveyard to bring this back. Little expensive, but again, this is more of a control deck. We don't have really a lot of ramp so far that we've seen, so we got to keep that in mind. There is ramp in this set with M21 still, but it's not being ran in this particular deck, so that's something you guys could change up. But here, it's -1. We get to put up to 2 target creatures get +2/+1 until end of turn. -2, 2 target 1/1. Create 2 1/1 human soldiers that are creature tokens. And then again, we talked about that escape cost. Then we have Solemn Simulacrum. This is my favorite artifact golem, and I'm saying that just more so kind of an inside joke anyway, but you guys got to go watch a bunch of episodes to kind of figure that one out. So with that said here, this artifact golem, when it enters, we get to go find a land, basic land, put it in the battlefield, tapped, and then when it dies, we get to draw a card. And obviously we got to shuffle our library. Then we have Elspeth Conquers Death, a very powerful saga. Here we get 3 things again. We get to exile target permanent an opponent controls with converted mana cost 3 or greater. Our next one, non-creature spells our opponent's cast cost 2 more. And then the final one, which is very powerful again, be able to pull a creature back or a planeswalker back from the graveyard and giving it a +1/+1 counter or a loyalty counter on it. Now, here's another new one that we haven't played or haven't talked about. First off, it's Brash Taunter. So this is a goblin. It has indestructible, and then whenever Brash Taunter is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to target opponent. So pretty powerful. For 3, we can make it fight another creature. So the only thing that you really have to worry about here is exile. So if your opponents have exile, or if you're playing a mirror match, you could run into some trouble with Banishing Light at the least to get rid of this guy. But very, very interesting style of play here. Lots of cool outs and ways to make this work. Now that brings me to another big creature that we have. We do have Realm Cloak Giant. So this is a destroy all non-giant creatures for 5 for its cast off sorcery adventure spell there. And then it's also a huge 7/7 4/7 with vigilance. So I think that makes it one of the biggest bodies on the battlefield. So again, not the biggest, I think, but don't fully quote me on that. I'd have to go look, but it is one of the bigger ones. And then we have Emeria's Call here, so another modal land. Again, it enters tapped, or we can pay the 3 life to have it come in untapped. A great finisher as well. Here we can create 2 4/4 White Angel Warrior creature tokens with flying non-angel creatures we control gain indestructible till end of turn. And then last but not least, everyone's favorite, Ugin. We got to have one of these, right? So anyway, here, Ugin, legendary planeswalker. For +2, we deal 3 damage to any target. Down or X, pay X, and down X. We get to exile each permanent with converted mana cost X or less. That's one of our colors. The only challenge with this one is we got a lot of stuff here that we could potentially lose and put our opponents into a good position. So you just need to keep that in mind. And then if we get to 10, we gain 7 life, draw 7 cards, and then put up to 7 permanents from our hand onto the battlefield. And then here's the land. So we got good old Pathways, which are the modal lands. We got Temple of Triumph for scries, and then what my favorite, Crawling Barrens. I think every deck should run this, I swear. But I really, really like it. And very, very excited about this one. And then again, we are running 20 lands, which makes sense because we are running 2 4 spiked shock lands, whatever you want to call them. So it gives us 24 plus 4 more gives us 28. We got the land thinning. The only thing that we got to keep in mind is because we do want to try and get to late game here, so 7 8. We got to keep in mind on how we particularly play our land. So that's something just to be cognizant of. So Planeswalkers, that is the main board. We're going to go ahead now and talk about the sideboard, and then we'll talk about how to pull these two together for best of 3. So first off, we got Glass Casket. Again, I already covered the card, but the big key takeaway for this one is definitely against aggro decks. These are going to things like mono red, gruul aggro, Boros Knights, Boros Warriors, rogue decks. Also, you may want to play this against some of the mill stuff that's out there. Dimmer mill, this can be either the crab ones or the gargoyle ones. Lots of good spots for this one that you could play, so keep that in mind. Anything that's really running that 3 casting costs or less, you could run this against the mono black deck that I did, any of the auras enchantment decks that I've done, those kinds of things. And those are also obviously 40 decks I've done the tier list plus, so we're well beyond that at this point. Next, we have Ruined Halo. So this is an enchantment. As it enters the battlefield, choose a card name. We have protection from the chosen card. So we have protection from the chosen card, so keep that in mind. You got to be careful with this one. It's slightly tricky. So I think the way it works, and we'll find out if we play it, but is if they target us, then we have protection from that card. So what you're going to want to do is anything that's going to essentially cause you to have direct damage, cause you to for them to target you. So something like necromancia kind of a thing, you would have protection from that when they have to do target player. So just keep those things in mind. And I might be off on that, but I think that's the way that this one works. I did try and do a little bit of research, but it wasn't. You don't really see it ran a bunch here, so you just got to be careful about kind of how you play this. So just calling that out. But where would you play this? So you're gonna play this against kind of control decks. You may play this against direct damage decks, like I said. And I'm saying that like if they are playing an Ugin deck, you can play Ruined Halo and name Ugin, but then they can't target you for the 3 damage kind of a thing. So different places that you can put that one in. You could run it against aggro. So if you drop it and say let's say the Knights or Annex or something like that, they're not going to be able to deal damage to you. So you can keep that in mind, and that's one way. And then also from a creature-based perspective, it's going to take out, usually a 4 of kind of a card perspective. So something like Questing Beast, this could work really well against gruul aggro, for instance. So if you name all the creatures that they have, they're not going to be able to get in and do the damage. Next, we got Fire Prophecy. So here, Fire Prophecy, we talked about already. Again, aggro decks, you're going to run this, all the stuff that we already rambled off on, mono green, food, those kinds of things. The Ruined Halo would work great against the food deck. They can't use the troll kind of a thing. All that kind of stuff. Knights decks, mono black, mono white, which one of my favorite decks. You guys can check that one out too. So lots of good spaces for this one again, and it's only targeting creature, but we get that ability to kind of flip through things. Then we got Skyclave Apparition. So we talked through this one again too. I like this one against more late game decks. So this is going to be, and honestly, it runs great against late game, mid range, and aggro. But particularly where you're going to need this is against the Yorion decks that are running Doom. So we just did one the other day. So you're definitely going to want that. It works great against mid-range. It works great against early game. And I'm saying mid-range as long as it's not like the Croxa discard decks. You're probably not necessarily going to want to run this one. You got enough stuff here too, but you could run it. You just might lose some of the value on it. Works great against rogues too. So lots of good spots, like I said, on this one. Then we got Shatter the Sky. So here is another good card against aggro decks. Anyone that's running lots of creatures, it's great against gruul aggro. It's great against mono red. It's great against the rogues decks. Lots of good spots for this one. And then also anyone running like Luris, whatever, these things are going to be just fine for too. So I've seen the Auras decks making a big comeback. That's a good one. You can play Shatter against the Auras decks if you want it, as long as they're not popping the +2/+2 indestructible. So just be careful of that. But lots of good places there. Elspeth Conquers Death. So we covered this one as well. I would run this against anything that's got really mid-range to late game. A really good way to lock your opponents down, do a lot of damage in terms of not allowing them to pull things back or play those cards. Great against Yorion decks, great against Doom decks, great against food. Lots of different places that you can play this one. Good against gruul aggro in my opinion too. Lots of those big creatures are 3 and above. I wouldn't play this for rogues. I would not play this for mono red. So those are some examples of where we wouldn't play it. Then we got Song Mad Treachery. So this is another modal land. What's interesting about this one, we gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap that creature, it gains haste till end of turn. So where would you play this? I would play this actually against things like mono green. I would play this against opponents that are running really big creatures, particularly stuff that you know is going to get you kind of over the top and kind of be a closer. This is something that your opponents are not going to see. So keep that in mind. It might give you a nice little edge. And the other thing is it just gets a creature out of the way, which may or may not, give you the win or give you the game at times. So places that this could work well is actually against things like the Crocs and mid-range decks. Excuse me. Uh-oh. I was having some food before this, and I guess it gets stuck in my throat. Also, apologies. Works well against food decks. Works well against kind of Crocs and mid range. Could work well against Yorion decks late game. You can pull Yorion off, those kinds of things. So keep that in mind. Again, it's a modal land, something that's easy to swap in or swap out. Emeria's Call again, so focusing on that late game like we talked about. You get to 7. This is great against control decks in terms of late game decks. I shouldn't say necessarily control because it's got an opportunity to be countered, but you would play this mid-range to late game. These are Yorion decks. These are Rakdos aggro deck or Rakdos sacrifice Rakdos mid-range decks. Not aggro, not sac, mid-range. Also good against Selesnya, mid-range, Sultai mid-range, those kinds of things. You gotta be careful on the Sultai though. Again, like I said, they do have a little bit more control there. So lots of good things to keep in mind. This one's a good finisher. This one can help you pave the way. Lots of good things that we can do here. So if we talk about it in terms of how we're going to move the board and move these things around for best of 3, we'll look at it from an aggro, mid-range, and late game perspective. So aggro again, we talked about this. You're probably going to run Glass Casket. Like I said, you could actually run Ruined Halo here. You're going to want to run Fire Prophecy, potentially Skyclave, maybe Shatter. Probably not going to need the last 3. Song of Mad Treachery maybe if you want to steal something because we are red. Getting a Brash Taunter with their Torbrand would be kind of funny, but or saving it for Bone Crush. Lots of different things. So anyway, a bunch of combos there. So where would I go? So if we make it easy and just go the 4, let's go 6 to 7. Here, where would I look to remove? Ugin's going to hurt us. To be honest, I probably wouldn't play Ugin. You may even want to put Emeria's Call here. If you're running the Realm Cloaks, then you're definitely going to want to go Shatter the Sky. I'd probably drop Elspeth Conquers Death. We have enough control here, so you can get rid of those. So I would drop those 2. I would consider, if they're not rogues, even cutting Elspeth Sun's Nemesis. I really like how the early game's kind of set up here. But the other thing that you can do is if you do pop Emeria's Call in here or a Song, I would maybe swap out a Spike Field. Unless they're running lower creatures like mono red, then I wouldn't do that. Because then you know that it's going to succeed. Also against mono white, it's going to succeed. So keep those things in mind. Those aren't bad spots. You may want to go Solemn Simulacrum. The draw is nice, but you're going to get the deck thinning with Birth of Meletes, so you actually get it earlier. And then a lot of times, if you're like me, you like to kind of try and exile this anyway. So the creature's nice, but at 4 against an aggro, it's a tough haul there. So that gives you 5, that gives you 6, that gives you 7. So good spots there. You could always remove 2 of the modals if you wanted to too. You could drop like Shatter Skull and save Emeria's Call if you wanted to go that route, kind of a thing. More for late game, or keep these because you're going to want to remove some of those things off the board. So that's how I would do that. I like that one a lot. Again, I would keep this guy because the damage is just going to ping him back anyway. Lots of good things there. Then we got mid-range. So mid-range is going to be potentially a little bit trickier. If it's got Selesnya, Adventures, Rakdos mid-range, Sultai, those kinds of things. And there's lots of different decks that you can consider in this space too. You consider mono green food, maybe even mid-range at times. I would probably, depending on what they're run, you can run Glass Casket. If they're not creature heavy, then you're not going to run Glass Casket. You may not even run Ruined Halo unless they're targeting you, depending on what they're playing, which most likely they're probably not. Skyclave Apparition, yes, I would probably stick with. Maybe even Shadow the Sky. Now, I would maybe even run these. Again, depends on what they're playing. If they are more of a late game, I would pull this one in. And then where would I cut? Again, it's depending on if they don't have a lot of creatures, or if they do. If they don't have a lot of creatures, I'd drop Glass Casket. I'd even consider removing Fire Prophecy, even though I like the flipping the things in and out. So that gives us 4. You could always go 2 lands or 2 modal lands, probably 2 Spike Fields. Probably be just fine and safe. That gives you 6. So if we go Skyclave and we go Shatter the Sky and maybe Elspeth or Emeria's Call, that gives us 6. So again, within that, there's kind of a range that you can think about how you want to play. Next, when we get into the late game and more of the control match, potentially, things to think about. So again, anytime that's started player, you can play this. But what we definitely probably want to play is going to be a Skyclave Apparition. We probably won't play Shadow the Sky. You may want to play Elspeth Conquers Death. More helpful later. And then Emeria's Call here. So that gives us 4 to swap in. Now, I'm definitely keeping Ugin like I did for mid-range. I'd probably keep these guys because I do like the late game. Just having a big body like that, these are fine. I would probably remove Glass Casket. You're probably not going to hit a lot of creatures. If you do, then you keep that in. If not, again, kind of creature route, you can go Fire Prophecy, you get that out of there. Then I begin to like some of the more late stuff because the match is just a little bit slower. Whew. All right. That is that, Planeswalkers. We covered a lot of stuff here. So we checked out the Boros Control deck. We talked about it. We talked about the deck composition. We talked about how we board from the sideboard for best of 3. If you have questions, if you have comments, if you have thoughts, or you want to give me a hard time, whatever you want to do, or just say thank you, I appreciate that always. Please feel free to let me know down below. Again, that's the deck in its totality that we're going to play today. So now we're going to go ahead and play some competitive Magic. And deck list is below, and deck link is below, or links, if you would like to check it out. So let's go ahead now, and at this time we are going to move into our standard rank to best of 1. Currently, I think I am in Diamond 3. So pretty happy with that. I was going to take a real fast run and try and PR, but unfortunately that did not happen. I think day 5 is my best. So maybe next time. So a couple things. I like that I got all these things. I like a turn 3. It's going to be very slow. We do have Ugin. I'm going to try it, though. You guys know me. I like to try and keep a lot of these things. Not always the best, but I always make the decision, well, we can do this, because that's going to, if we double up here, we got a lot of things that we're going to be able to do. Alright, so it looks like we are running into a mono black control deck, so this is not going to help us, so let's get that down now. So mono black control / monument. I will play this. Now, I could have played Skyclave Apparition there. And what that would have done is that would have given me the ability to take Maze Mind off. It's probably going to pull Ugin here. Ooh. Not pull Ugin. I'm okay with that. I'm actually okay with that. So we're going to do another one. And I'm actually going to bring the pain as fast as I can here with this card. Because this will give me 2 exiles per turn. So Bone Crusher's going to go away. It's fine. And we're going to start running through our deck real fast. So let's do this first. Let's see what we hit. Oh. Mr. Barons. So that doesn't help, so we'll play this. And we'll go thin. So now here's a trigger on Volatile again. So now we're going to get 4 damage through. So this is kind of how this combo works. And it can do well. Here the challenge is because they are gaining life back, we're going to run into some problems. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're actually pretty close here. So let's see what we hit. Alright, all lands. Now, I'm actually going to let him get the life. And I'm going to save my bashing light for now, actually. Now, they'll probably pull it from me. But I'm doing this because I know they have Ugin. I'm doing this because I know they got the nice good old troll. That's going to create a problem. And now we doubled up on our bashing light. So we will definitely play this.
I can escape my past no more than I can escape my shadow. Together we can exact justice.
Probably gonna end up self-milling before they actually kill us. We'll see. Maybe I'm off. And maybe we won't because we don't have a lot of lands left. And we can't forget, they got the Crawling Barons there. So now they go even. But we can bring Elspeth back. But we got a lot of stuff here. Oh, there's my Barons.
Perfection is a journey, not a destination. Consider this a warning.
I am proud of my comrades.
So we're keeping their life actually in check with the Valakuts. They got a lot of cards though, a lot of cards. So this will be really interesting to see. Yeah, I figured they had that. So here's where we're gonna need Elspeth. So Elspeth will bring that back for us. Glass Casket is not gonna help.
Find your valor and fight.
So I'll swing in. We'll give him the draw. I'll bring Elspeth back. Let's get rid of a bunch of these lands.
Even the gods cannot escape my wrath. Courage will bloom in all who seek justice.
Accept a lesser world, and you will go
I cannot escape. fate.
Bye bye, Velikut. So we will do this.
my research.
And we'll also do this.
Strive for purpose. I got you. Not too dangerous to roam free. My flame.
Very nice. Very nice. A lot of fun. Alright, let's see if we can clip it here. Here we go. Here we go. We got our Krellin Barons now.
Then this is my fate.
So I'm saving Glass Casket because I don't care about the 2/2 right now. I don't have to worry about it. What I have to be careful of is that Crawling Barons. So if they, because they're not going to be able to deal enough damage to it to kill it on instant speed unless they have Hagro's Mauling in the deck. If they do, oh, that's terrible. Field of Ruin will get me though. That will get me. And I also think I love Field of Ruin, and now we don't have any of those left. We still have Elspeth. Alright, they're at 29, we're at 26. Things are moving. I gotta figure out what I want to do with this. We'll get that one off. I want them to keep drawing at this point, to be honest, because that might be my opportunity. There we go. This is a good one too. We need taunter here. If we can get them. We could turn this around. Oh, it was close. It was close. Good match though, man. Very, very good match. Very fun. Lots of different interactions. We got to see quite a lot with the deck. Let's go on to the next match here for best of one. Very, very interesting. Very, very interesting matchup. The Ugins obviously hurt us, and that again was kind of the bad side and the downside of the Ugin piece there. So let us stay tuned. Now, Planeswalkers, as we're waiting here, I just want to say thank you as always. I appreciate your support. Please feel free to subscribe to the channel down over there. Additionally, like the video if you like it. You can like me on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter and Twitch. Stay up to date on content like this. Additionally, other ways to support the channel down below in the details. Deck list down below in the details. You can become a patron if you'd like. I appreciate that, your pledge. And then additionally, feel free to hop in the Discord channel, hang out with us. Our opponent goes first. We got an Obosh deck. We will try this. It's gonna be a little interesting though. This guy's gonna help us, but we need to get to. Actually, I'm gonna hang out of that. I'm gonna do this first. I want to save that, so let's do this. Oh shoot! Oh, whoops! 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 My bad. I was trying to grab Birth of Meliodas and I played too fast, so that could cost me the game. Oh, shoot! 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 Thank you. Oh, that hurt my deck thinning, hurt my ability to do anything. If we truly come back from this, it will be funny. There we go. So they're missing an Ultimatum right now, and they're missing a double red there for Terror. There's our crawling. Just sit on that. Now, I could have hit with a spike field, but I know I have that. There's their Ultimatum. So as long as they don't hit the roulette here, and yeah, get like 10 of these guys, that was more my concern. So let's see where he does the damage. Yeah, that's the right way to do it. I'm not going to kill everything here. Because I got Realm Cloaked for 5. So here's another good red one for us. We can play this baddie. Boom! Boom! I'll take it. No! Of course they have 2 in their hand. Why not? That is probably the biggest whiff I have seen. I think that's the biggest whiff I've seen. I know they picked up like an Ultimatum or something, but still. And their deck's super thin now. Alright, let's figure out what we want to do though. There's the good old Terror. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I need 8. I need 8. Ooh, double Terror. get that guy off the board. Three, 0, 3. Oh. Oh, good game. Oh, okay. Now into the best of 3. So let's see how this goes, my friends. Not so hot in best of 1. We played 2 late game kind of decks. Was hoping actually to play some more aggro type stuff, but did not quite line up the way that we wanted to. There's the Selesnya Landfall deck from yesterday, so now we're going to go in the Boros Control one. So let's see how this goes. Alright, the Jolly Flying Man Planeswalkers we are against. So we will play first. I like this. We got Brash for once, so let's stick with that. We got a Crawling, we got Casket, we got Bashing Light. Let's see if we can get a land. Perfect, we got a land. Now, as we look at this lovely gruul deck here, as always, I just like to say thank you, because I appreciate your support. So please feel free to subscribe to the channel down over there. Additionally, I'm going to go with this one. You can like me on Facebook. You can like the video if you like it. You can follow me on Twitter and Twitch. All that information is down below in the description. And then also feel free to become a patron. I always appreciate that. Running a nice little event right now for that. Ooh, what do I want here? Sorry. Got slightly distracted. We're going to go with another white. We're actually going to do this first. So I can put Brash on next. I'm going to save Bashing Light. And that's why I'm saving Bashing Light. Specifically for that card. Shoot. I'll take the 5. That I don't want. Let's go thin it. If we pull this off, it'll be because of Brash.
I'm old as a brushwag, so brace yourself.
Hopefully they don't have Gem Razor. If they got Gem Razor, this is going to be a tough match in the next one.
Every day is a new mutation.
So this time I will block. Let's do this, so we can hit that again. I feel like we do this first, though. We got the return firepower. So here we're going to put the Myrias in for reach.
About to get out of hand for you. The more the hairier.
Maybe they're going to go Scoos here. Oh, so we'll get that off the board. Nice top deck there. So we get to destroy everything that is not a giant. Then I will take Vivian off.
Time to lick my wounds.
1 damage. Cleared the board. Look at that. And we can get Realm Cloak next turn. The Jolly Flying Man may not be too jolly at the moment. However, that is a nice top deck, I won't lie. Here we go.
I'd like you to meet my friend, Stompy. Aw, you're cool.
I should really be going for... Oh, there's the Great Henge. Oh, that's what I should have saved for. Now they get good old life gain, too.
Beauty lies in variation.
Ooh, here we go. Let's... I can hang on there. They got 7. Will they sack everything on that? I don't know. I slightly want them to get bigger, because then all I gotta do is fight them each time.
Every day is a new mutation.
And then we'll make our guy bigger here. Decline. Alright, so let's do this. Let's see what we can get here. Ooh, casket. Do we hit the ooze is the question though. I'm not gonna hit the ooze. I'm gonna hit one of his other guys here. So gives us 3. So we'll still get 2 every time with Great Henge. We'll get to hit on the Scoos. Could have taken it off. Let's see here. We're gonna lose to a flood.
I'd like you to meet my friend.
What's gonna happen? Oh. We got lethal though. It's not going to matter. Boom, we got it. We got it, my friends, against gruul aggro. So, how do we want to play this time? This is going to be a nice little match. So, Skyclave we'll bring back in. We can bring Shire of the Skies. Elspeth's good. More of these. Fire Prophecy I like too. Glass Casket works. Spikefield works. All this stuff at the top end works. How do I want to board? I think I dropped this. Elspeth, I'll keep one of maybe. Well, they have Scoos, so yeah, it's gone. Realm Cloak's still good. These are all still good. Maybe drop one spike. So much thinking, my friends. Could drop one Valakut. And let's go one more spike. Alright. There we go. On to the next match here. Oof. No red. That is a challenge. I'm going to mulligan. There we go. Drop basic. Should have went the plains actually. That's alright. And we did have Ugin, which is too bad, but we'll live. Keep that one. That one in my library. There we go. I'll keep that. Ooh. We'll decline. Could play this, but I'm going to save it for now. Still sack it anyway. Shoot. Bad timing on that one. let's do this. Let's put that in there. So at this point, we essentially, there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we can keep making the barons bigger. We can wipe the board. We can control the board. So we just got to keep going with that for right now. We still have our Elspeth Conquers Death, which is huge. We got our giant here, which is big. A lot of people haven't seen this deck either, but I mean that's good. They got the Thrashing Brawdons and some nice destroying a lot of things here. That's what I figured was coming. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. I'm gonna play this first. I'm going to put him on the board. So we got this guy, we got this guy, we got that guy. We're in a good spot, so we should be able to come back, but depends on what they play, obviously. Oh, there you go. So let's do this. We will do this. So right now, if they don't have a haste creature, we're in the clear. I think we're still in the clear here. I think we are in the clear. Boom! Gruul aggro check with our Boros Control deck. I love playing these tier 1 decks, best of 3, and crushing them. Oh, so good, so good, so good, my friends. So, nice day, super fun matches. Awesome Boros Control deck. A lot of fun. Again, this deck was from the Platinum to Mythic, 6+ wins. Let's go ahead here and review it one last time. So again, we got to see almost everything, I think, actually, of this deck, which is pretty awesome in what I try to do over the course of the best of 1 and best of 3 matches, as well as we talk through it. So here's the deck again. Planeswalkers is available for you down below in the description, along with the deck link, so you do have access to it right away. Super fun. We didn't get Ruined Halo in, but hey, that's how it goes. So anyway, Planeswalkers, again, finally, last time, thank you. I really appreciate it, at least for today. Thank you. I appreciate your support. Please feel free to subscribe down over there. Additionally, like the video if you like it. You can like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter and Twitch, stay up to date on content like this. Other ways to stay connected and support the channel down below in the description via Discord, as well as becoming a patron on Patreon. So thank you very much. I do truly appreciate it. Love doing this stuff for you guys. It's one of the things that gets me up every day. So thank you. You stay safe. Take care. I'll see you again soon. Mithras out. And until next time, Planeswalkers, we got a lot more coming your way.